Alrighty. Now that I've wasted 3 minutes doing this, if you watched my last State of the Ob, you may have noticed that I had a bit of a problem, a little bit of a struggle. I kind of have an insecurity that I can't light a match, I can't light a candle. But this episode of Manly Monday is all about conquering fears and slaying giants, being a man. So here we go. Even though I am terrified every single time I do this, I figured this could be a great tradition, honestly, to start every single Manly Monday, every single video maybe that I ever do, is that I conquer my fear of striking a match and lighting my finger on fire, avoiding lighting my finger on fire. It's a great initiator to start this video. Hopefully I don't set off a smoke alarm. Wait, do I even have a smoke alarm? Yes, there it is. Alright! That was a lot easier than I tend to make things. Surprise. What's up, everybody? My name is Tom. I'm the co-founder and editor of YourOtherBrothers.com. We are a community navigating faith, homosexuality, and masculinity together. And this is Manly Monday. Now featuring fire. Today, you may notice a lot of new things. You may notice the candle if you didn't see that on our last video. You may also notice my new neckwear, which ties in amazingly and perfectly into what I'm talking about today. Fancy that. But it's this new thing that I'm doing. I'm now wearing necklaces, and yes, necklaces are manly, or they can be. And if you disagree, the door is right there. You can't see it, but there's a door right there, and you can take it. Yeah, I've been wearing these necklaces lately, and they tie in perfectly into what I'm talking about today on this episode of Manly Monday. And it's the concept of capability and beauty. Because my two biggest struggles as a man, it's not anything to do with sexuality. It has nothing to do with sexuality. My two biggest struggles as a human male are the beliefs that I am a capable man and that I'm a beautiful man. These two necklaces, they kind of happened upon me. I mean, yes, I had to take the effort and the initiative to acquire them, but they also kind of fell into my lap, or fell onto my neck, so to speak, in these last several weeks. This first one is a sling with a stone, so naturally you can imagine the story that correlates with that. And this other one is a key that simply has the word glorious written on it, and it comes from a song, and it all has to do with our inner beauty, that for some people, certainly for me, it's really hard to look in the mirror, both literally and metaphorically, and seeing it. And I have a feeling that that is a struggle common to a lot of people. Not everyone, not every man, and certainly not every man in this community, but for a lot of men, I think the belief that they're capable and the belief that they're beautiful and that they have worth is really hard. So I'm going to look at a couple places in scripture today, starting off with our favorite ruddy, good-looking king-to-be, David. The story of David and Goliath is, it's one of those stories we've all heard a million times, but the more you actually read it and the more you see the words used and the quotes said, the more this story takes on this gargantuan Goliath, if you will, epic feel. That this little teenager, was he even a teenager? Was he like 10 or 11 or 12? This little boy goes up against a 9-foot person, and just trying to visualize what that would even look like, just for size purposes. Picturing how that would even look as an outsider watching it, and probably watching with like one eye squinted, one eye open, because it just feels so mismatched. And yet David had such a confidence going into battle. He had a confidence in his God. This despite the king of Israel, Saul, telling David this. In 1 Samuel 17, verse 33, Saul said to David, "You are not able." There it is right there. You are not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for you are a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. And then David continues and he talks about how he rescued animals. He rescued his flock from intruding animals like lions and bears. Oh my. And then I love David's confidence in verse 37. He just said, the Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear, he will deliver me from the hand of the Philistine. And I look at David and I see a man, a boy who was a man who knew where his strength came from. And I think that's really the whole point, the whole essence of it. Because from the outside, Saul looked right at David and was like, you are not able. And I feel like anyone there, if you were there, if I were there, would look at David, would look at Goliath over there and say, you are not able. Just logically, practically, you are not able. But I'm learning over time, like that is kind of the point, is that none of us is able. None of us is able to defeat temptation and to defeat lust, to defeat greed, to defeat hatred, to defeat our tempers, to defeat our emotions that cripple us, crippling worry, crippling anxiety. None of us is able on our own merit to defeat those things, to defeat those giants. The whole point of this Christian walk, the whole point of walking with Jesus and taking him on in our lives is letting him fight those battles for us, to lay down, to admit what our struggles are and lay those down, and to trust him that he is capable in us, and that he makes us capable. And I've seen that time and again, going out of my comfort zone into fields that felt like war to me, working at an all-boys camp, or standing in front of a church to tell my testimony, or even starting Yob and keeping Yob going now for 3 years, this community that continues to grow and grow and grow, despite all of the reasons for it not to, despite all the controversies and all the arguments and all the inner conflicts and separating of paths of people here and people now no longer with us. And there's a lot of reasons that I'm tempted to say that I'm not capable. And yet, here we still are. Here I still am. And this little reminder is so huge for me that we all have giants to kill in this life. And I think God is calling us to step onto the battlefield, to simply let him take the reins of our swinging, of our slinging. Because of my own merit, white knuckling things and trying to defeat addiction and patterns is a futile effort. But I believe in a God who kills giants. And it's so epic to read this over and over and over again, because he does. He kills those giants. If we surrender the sling to him, it removes so much pressure too. Like I can do 60 push-ups a day, or I could work out, or I could go run 7 miles, or I can take care of my body by eating well, and and I can look very masculine. But there have been times, and even now, where I feel like I look very masculine, and yet on the inside I feel like a quaking child, a little boy who hasn't even taken the first steps into manhood. I feel that so often. Does anyone else ever feel just like a little boy? The other concept I wanted to touch on today, the other necklace around my neck, is this concept of glory, this concept of beauty, and desirability, and ultimately worth. Am I worth it? Am I worth getting to know? Am I worth being a friend, being a brother, being a son, being a husband, if that applies to you? And for that reference, for that deep dive, we go to know no one else but our favorite, ruddy, good-looking kid who killed a giant, who had sexual relations with a woman that he shouldn't have, who messed up 1,000 times, and yet was a man after God's own heart, and penned these beautiful words in Psalm 139. In verse 13, "For you formed my inward parts, you covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and my soul knows that very well. My frame was not hidden from you, and I was made in secret and skillfully wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Your eyes saw my substance being yet unformed, and in your book they were all written, the days fashioned for me, when as yet there were none of them. How precious also are your thoughts to me, O God, how great is the sum of them." Gosh, I'm learning as an emotional person through many attempts and trial and error. I'm learning that my feelings are not facts. My feelings are real, my feelings are valid, my feelings exist, and it's good to acknowledge them and to pinpoint them. And some people have a hard time pinpointing their emotions and why are they feeling what they're feeling, or what are they even feeling. I believe in a God who knit each one of us, myself included, with a purpose, with beauty, with his image in mind. And I think in masculine culture, and maybe more so in Christian masculine culture, I don't know, but I think there's a tendency to avoid words like beautiful and delightful and precious when you're using those types of words to describe a man. At least that's my impression of the masculinity that I've observed, is that men aren't beautiful, men aren't precious, men aren't light, lovely. Like what? Not men. Men are strong and confident, competent. They're athletes, they're hunters, they're a ton of other things before we ever get to words like beautiful or glorious even. And yeah, I think that's been a huge part of my journey, is looking in a physical and a metaphorical mirror, seeing beautiful things, being able to actually write them out and list them out of the things that I love about who I am, physically and mentally and relationally and emotionally. And I highly recommend it. If that's not something you've done, if that's like a cheesy homework assignment, can I assign homework on Manly Monday? I can. I'm getting the thumbs up over there that I can assign homework. And that's my homework for you guys in the comments below, is to write what you love about yourself. Not just like, not tolerate, not survive, but what are some things about you that light up like a candle on the table? What do you love about yourself? For me, I love my sense of humor. I know so many people don't, but that's neither here nor there. I love my eyes. I love my necklaces. I love this new style that I'm shooting for. I love my storytelling endeavors and passions, whether it's blog form or podcast form or video form. I love that God has instilled this passion inside of me to tell stories, real stories, not sugar-coated ones, but actual, authentic, true and real masculine stories. And that's just, this isn't about me. That's just scraping the top of the barrel. But it's actually a worthy assignment for myself to do as well. So please, all of you people, hold me to it as I also contribute to the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Do you struggle with capability and beauty? I'd love to hear what y'all have to say. As always, you can follow Your Other Brothers on all the socials at Your Other Bros. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Shoot me an email anytime, tom@yourotherbrothers.com. I'd love to dialogue with you. If you're new, please say hello. I love saying hello. Is that everything? I'm being told that's everything. Thanks for tuning in for this Manly Monday. This is Tom reminding you to speak meekly, chase madly, be manly, everywhere in between.